Hi, everyone. I'm Shan-Lyn Ma, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Zola. Hands up if you've ever heard of Zola before. Great. Well, for those of you who don't know who we are the fastest growing wedding company in the country, and we're also one of the fastest growing e-commerce sites around. We, like many companies, use design and technology, but we use it to help the 2 million couples getting married today, and we use it to help serve them throughout their entire wedding planning journey, from the day they get engaged through that first year of marriage. We want to serve people no matter who they are, where they live, or whatever devices they live on. My vision for Zola has always been, how can we help couples in a way that feels Web 2.0, where a lot of tools and products that people have to use for their weddings today feel like they're stuck in the dark ages. We do this with our free suite of wedding planning tools, including our wedding website, where we have hundreds of different designs that people can pick from, as well as our guest list to help people manage their RSVPs for their weddings, our checklist where you can plan all your to-dos, and of course our wedding registry, which is where we started. And we do this all free to both the couple and to everyone helping them with their wedding. All this has meant that couples getting married today and their guests love us, and we've seen explosive growth. In just 4 years, we've had over 500,000 people use Zola, and we are now one of the top 5 most visited wedding sites in the country. I wanted to share a bit about how we achieved this explosive growth, and really we can talk about this driven by 3 different things that we did right. So first, we focused on really nailing product market fit in what we were trying to build. Second, we thought a lot about how do we create a business model that is right for this market. And then third, we spent a lot of time thinking about how do we grow in a thoughtful and strategic way. So first, for any one of you who's gotten married here, I'm sure that you will understand what it's like and how painful it is to perhaps set up a wedding registry if you did not use Zola. Like many successful startups, I came up with the idea for Zola based out of a personal experience. It was in 2013, which was the year that all my friends got married at exactly the same time. I think many of us have that year in your life where it seems like every weekend you're going to a wedding, you're buying a lot of wedding gifts. And in 2013, I was buying a lot of presents for my friends from registries that looked a lot like this from the big department stores. And in fact, many of them at the big department stores, they still look like this. I had worked in e-commerce companies for a long time. I had created products at companies like Gilt Group that were beloved by customers and that won a ton of awards. And I just knew that people getting married today and their guests deserved something so much better than what they were seeing from their wedding registry experience. I started talking to hundreds of couples about what they wanted from their wedding registry and found that the same 3 things kept coming up again and again. Couples today, they want to register for products and experiences and cash. They want that KitchenAid stand mixer, but they also want a honeymoon. They also want an Airbnb gift card and maybe a Blue Apron food subscription. Second thing that couples want is they want to fully personalize their wedding. Today, on average, a couple will spend $35,000 on one wedding day. And they do that because they want it to be beautiful and personal and reflect who they are as a couple and their families. And that includes their registry. They want to fully personalize their registry. And you couldn't do that anywhere else. So we at Zola set out to be that place that you could make your registry look as beautiful as the rest of your wedding. And then the third thing that we heard that kept coming up often was couples today want to control when they receive their gifts. With every other registry store, as you received your gifts, things would just start turning up at your home, and you had no idea what was coming, who sent it, if you even wanted to keep it yet. And we heard from couples that that was one of the worst things about their wedding registry, was receiving gifts, right? And it seems counterintuitive. And so we thought, what if our big innovation was we don't send anything to anyone until they say they actually want to receive it? And that meant that we could control the shipping of when the gifts reached the couple, and that was a huge relief to them. So we really built Zola on these three big differentiators, and we are still the only registry that offers all of this. And because of that, we have been the fastest growing registry around. We are looking to address now the broader market, which is a $100 billion market in the US today. And registry is about 19 billion of that. And when we think about this market, it is a huge opportunity that we find no other online company has really been solving on behalf of the users. As context, it's the same size as the US beauty industry, and it's this same size as the global toy industry, and the same size as the global gaming industry. So we think couples deserve a lot more here. The second big thing we did was we helped couples not just solve the problems with their wedding registry and planning, but we also thought a lot about how do we solve the problems that we've seen in e-commerce businesses. So we did this in three ways. One is we did not want to take inventory because we knew that e-commerce companies often struggle and close because of the amount of inventory that they buy. So we had a no inventory business model. We know that returns is the silent killer of e-commerce companies. So we developed this feature where people could do virtual exchanges through our site in order to minimize our returns. And then third, where predictability is important in any business, in our business, we are as predictable as it gets. So because couples register with us 7 months before their wedding date, we can see what we're going to do as a business 1 year in advance. And all of this has meant that we have a unique business model in a wedding industry which has typically been monetized via advertising or via asking users to pay. We found companies aren't able to build a business through those two business models in weddings, where we believe there should be room for a lot of healthy businesses, because 2 million couples get married every year, and as context, that's 86 times the number of people in Charlottesville. And then if you think about those 2 million couples getting married every year, on average, they're inviting 150 guests to their wedding. So it's a big opportunity, and it's one that we've been able to approach with a different monetization model, and as a result, have been able to build a business that is sustainable over the long term. One of the other ways we've been able to do this is being focused in the early days, where we spent, and I spent the first 3 years of the business really doing nothing else but thinking about how do we create the best possible registry experience. This was a learning from some of the previous startups that we had worked in, where I saw that we were expanding into new businesses and new categories and employing many people in the early years before that business was really ready. And we decided we would not do that at Zola. And so here you can see, some of the early things that we focused on. It was really building our registry site, the mobile apps, and keeping the team lean, including my dog Noe here, which was part of that very lean team. We spent a lot of years really building up the assortment of brands and products that we offer in our home store. You can see we've now grown our assortment by over 800%, and now have all the traditional registry brands that you would find anywhere else, but we've also tried to offer brands and experiences you cannot find on any other registry, such as Airbnb or Delta or Southwest flights and gift cards. And as a result, because of the success that we've seen in registry, we've now been able to fulfill and look at our bigger vision of helping couples from the day they get engaged through that first year of newlywed life. We launched Zola Weddings last year and have seen a huge number of people start to use us for their wedding website and guest list and checklist. And we're able to offer all these tools for free because we make money through our registry, and that's how we stay in business. Earlier this year, we were lucky enough to acquire the assets of a local Charlottesville company called Borrowed and Blue, and we have the Borrowed and Blue team join the Zola family. We are working on something exciting together that is going to help couples through the early stages of wedding planning, and I'm excited to share that all with you and the world in the lead up to this year's big wedding season. Thank you.